Hello everyone, today's lecture with Golos, the English edition, and currently it appears that there's no one here right now. Uh, I'm going to see if someone will join us. But anyway, I could do a little recap on what was happening in Golos. Um, as you probably know, that we went through the hard fork and um, it was accepted. The 16.3 hard fork is currently active, and the economic changes are in. As far as I can see, all of the top 19 delegates currently are running the hard fork, and I think that the last one to update was Hipster, one of the cyber fund in the Golos Foundation, Golos team, the launch team members. But currently uh, everyone is running the hard fork. Hopefully we'll have someone to join us. Mm. The other interesting thing about what is happening in Golos is a lot of people seem to just found out that there is a consensus-based rules in the Golos that are enforced by the blockchain, and that for everything there's a way that you can make your opinion known. A lot of people assumed or were told that there are some rules which are some that there are rules that they agreed to when they start using the site, but in one of the discussions, some of the founders came and said, like, yeah, those rules are more like guidelines. They are there for as a legal disclaimer, and everything else is what the people who are part of the community decide using the flag and upvote system. And currently there are a lot of discussions about that. That's something that I was talking about earlier. I think I started talking about those things about a couple of months ago. Oh, we have Anix joining us. Hello. Hello. I can't hear you.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, cool. Um, so we are talking about the hard fork and the social part of uh, of the Golos, because a lot of people were assuming that there are hard rules that are enforced by the site, that there's a central authority that can ban people, and people are requesting, like, we want some way to ban users we don't like, and probably the mute function is a little bit not enough for them. But currently it came to everyone's attention that that's not how things work. And I suspect that things are changing a little bit. It's weird, but it's going to be fun, I think.
Well, if you think about the history of all forums ever, they've all had some form of moderation. And Steemit trying, and Golos copying it, I guess, trying to do it without some form of moderation, I don't think is necessarily the best idea. There's a reason why forums without moderation fail, and that's because of trolls, spam, scams, and all sorts of things. And while we have the financial incentive to try and stop that, it doesn't work 100%. So I don't know if not having any form of it, the mute button is arguably nothing.
Yeah.
And it's a hard answer.
Well, the thing is that I consider it like this, and that's something that I was thinking a lot about, is that that's sort of an experiment by them. I suspect that's a good way to put it, about the necessities of self moderation by the community. So the consensus mechanism, it allows people to do their own moderation. So everyone is a moderator, and their weight in Golos power or Steam power, in the case of Steam, determines how effective they are at it. And the efforts like Kultura Golosa are something that is like, kind of private police force, something like that. So if you want some sort of consensus, and you have the external consensus, a lot of people think that way, you could put your resources to enforce that sort of consensus, at least in your own blogs and stuff like that. So when we are not talking about things like plagiarism, but we start talking about things that are really well, they are really sort of unique for the Russian audience, because from the start there was a thing with hold on a second. What's happening? Hold on, I have to open the door. Sorry about that.
I hope that's not a fire alarm.
As the same as Ayman.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm with you now. So the thing is, a lot of people, and they are going through the Kultura Golosa, are anti, swearing and stuff like that. And they come to the users' blogs and say, like, we are going to flag you and stuff like that, so please do it. Like, and some of them are being, well, they are not Kultura Golosa, but they are affiliated people, and backed with the authority of Kultura Golosa, they are being very rude without actually, swearing. And basically that's kind of things like trolling and stuff, but it's sort of, because those are our good people, their trolling is okay. And well, a lot of people, there were some understanding with some people that people like, and that they swear. And they stopped coming after them, but they are doing it. And they say that this whole thing was started by user Piranha, who is one of the people who came from LiveJournal. Russian LiveJournal community has a lot of people who swear. And when the outreach on LiveJournal happened, one of the things was that Golos is censorship-free, well, kind of anarchistic, stuff like that. So a lot of people who were targeted for what they were writing, and we are talking about Russia here, where some people are in jail for reposting stuff. So for a lot of people, that was like, "Ooh, that's a cool feature," but they say, "Hello, we are the new people, we swear a lot," stuff like that. And first thing they receive is that, "Please don't swear," but not "please don't swear," but we have those rules. They are rules. By using this, you agree to them, stuff like that. A lot of people just realize that there are consensus mechanisms that allow this sort of thing. So people can sort things out. For example, now we have tags that, so you don't like swearing, there is a tag for that, and people can filter that content. But the situation was that it was done a little poorly, I think.
Well, it's a growing pain, and I think personally, I don't think swearing should be a big deal on sites like Steemit and Golos, and I think Culture Golosa, it's Russian, so I don't know what kind of culture comes behind that, but we made an interesting point earlier about not having sort of governance and everyone being their own moderator.
Mm-hmm.
Dan has an interesting take on this as well, because he designed it in this way, but he contradicts himself when he talks about it.
Does he?
Yeah. I had an argument with him, if you remember the Why I Flag Oz chart art post on Steemit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He's basically still flagging him because he believes it's abuse, and that's kind of his self-moderation for his subjective view on what is abuse, and in his terms, that's abuse of the reward pool. And what he said, and I quote, "This is why I believe it is important for any community to be proactive in encouraging positive discourse and curbing abuse." Mm-hmm. And I asked him why he doesn't support Steam Cleaners then, which is the Steemit version of Culture Golosa.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And he says that he prefers to take responsibilities for his own voting. And I poked into him again and asked him, like, so why don't you downvote plagiarism? Why do you actually upvote plagiarism? And he says, we each have jobs to do. It would be impractical for everyone to do everything.
I don't understand that.
So basically, he's saying everyone should be their own moderator, but it's impossible for everyone to do everything.
That's true. But it's kind of a thing that I think is important. Speaking about the cultural basis, is that some people who were early adopters, they are kind of hardcore on that. So the culture should be cultural. So swearing is a no-no, and for a long time it was a bit weird because the swearing and stuff like that was considered trolling and stuff like that, and people are kind of being afraid that they are breaking the rules, and well, it's weird. And the thing is, after some time, people are being finding out that maybe if they are not okay with this, if they are okay with swearing in their own posts and people swearing in their commands. It's okay, and coming after those commands is not okay. So people who are pro-swearing and they tag their posts and well, they don't swear under the posts of other people who don't like swearing. So everything is kosher that way, and that's one of the reasons. That's one of the solutions that I'm talking about, and where I'm quoting them. I think that this is an experiment in people, kind of creating their own anarchistic communities that respect each other's rules, and they enforce their own rules in their own circles, stuff like that. But for a lot of people who are who joined us in November, December, before the payout, it's like all of Golos is our property, our home, and those people are coming into our homes, and they are they came here to harm Golos. They are terrorists, and well, we are doing the right thing. And a lot of times when I was talking about people from outside Golos about Golos, they were saying like, yeah, but there's not much interest in there, and there's this hardcore stance on this and that, and we're not really interesting. Poke us if things change. And at the same time, there is the other crowd who are saying like, there are too much trolls, too much swearing, too much things on Golos, so we can't, when we show the Golos to our friends and stuff like that, they say like, yeah, there's too much shit there, so we're not comfortable about joining it. Please focus when things change. And there's two communities there currently, in a really open conflict. It was a conflict, kind of below radars for some time, and it's kind of really interesting for me as a way if it's like putting the ideas that Dan coded into the used as a base for the system to a test. And so can those people find some sort of truth, some sort of, I don't know, common rules that everyone agrees with and enforce them?
It's interesting because it is almost the opposite problem of what Steemit had, because when Steemit first started, a huge influx of people came in, and the terrorists were apparently the original people that were there. And the community ganged up against so-called evil whales and tried to say that they were doing things wrong. And now we kind of have the opposite problem here, where you have a decent-sized community to start off with that have experience, have understanding of how the system works, and the new people who come in are the ones almost being targeted for doing it wrong. So it's interesting. It's kind of flipped.
The thing is, it's really good to have you here because a lot of this controversy is centered around Kultura Golosa, because people are appealing to their authority, and they're like, Kultura Golosa are enforcing the rules. So kind of they are the man who is, I think a lot of cultures have things about, sticking it to the man, and Kultura Golosa is the man, sort of thing. And I'm sure that a lot of people in the English community are not aware about this situation. And I kind of wanted to start talking about this when I had, I watched the whole thing and had things to say, but yeah, and that's now.
So the same thing existed on Steemit where Steam Cleaners constantly gets attacked for being, like you say, the man, because there's a community of people that just no matter what the authority is, they're gonna try and be against it because they don't want someone telling them what they can and cannot do. And they somewhat refuse to see why it might be necessary. For Cultural Golosa, I think they started in a position of power, which is something that I wish that Steam Cleaners had. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to help Cultural Golosa as much as I would like to because obviously I don't speak the language, unfortunately, and that means I haven't really been a part of how it's developed. So it's taken its own path compared to Steam Cleaners on Steemit. And I didn't even know about the swearing thing until a couple weeks ago. And if I were heading it, I would have said, no, that's too much. You have to focus on the things that really, really matter, and that's fraud. And that's what they should be about.
I can support that. And well, I'm sorry about kind of keeping you in the dark, but I had the understanding that you probably, and people who are supporting Cultura Golos but don't speak the language don't know about this. But it's kind of it was really interesting to see how things would develop. Yeah. And I suspect that once this thing is running its course, I'm going to introduce some sort of kind of, it's not an opposition, but about when people come and they say like, this is you shouldn't do this, this is forbidden for but if they come and harass people, and that's what was happening for quite a while. I mean, like people just joined, new people just joined, and they are like, yeah, cool, interesting. The user interface and user experience is not all that bad. And then they get attacked. And if all of, well, if the culture of Golosa was, being, was, cordial, was, what's the good way to describe it? Or, like, please don't do this. We're polite, But some of the people who are affiliated, and everyone are like, Cultura Golos is not a solid entity. It's some of our users who are supporting it. And when we are doing this, we're not, officially Cultura Golos, but they are appealing to its authority. So it's kind of a thing with moderators. So when moderators on a forum do the moderation thing, they are being really, strictly correct, really polite, stuff like that. Like, please don't do this, otherwise we, will do bad things to you because we have the authority. But they separate what they are doing as, moderators and what they are doing as people. That's, separation of function and, your personal stuff. For a lot of people, that's not, a thing, I think. And hello, Archange. I am sorry to hear that you don't have a microphone, but it's nice to see you.
He can still type.
Yeah, we'll translate your messages to the audience. And we have 0 viewers. That's fun.
Aww.
It's just for us.
I think people would watch it afterwards, but it's a pity because there are no comments from the YouTube. Anyway, One of the good things that we had this discussion yesterday, so about this a little bit, and then go to discussing HardFork, I think. But anyway, one of the things that were discussed yesterday are that, for example, the mute functionality could be, could be improved by, so for example, if you are muting someone and they come to comment on your post, well, the site could, forbid them from posting, but or I think that's a better way. Is that if you are muting someone and it doesn't matter what is the reputation, their comments are go to the down of the comment section, and they are hidden by by default. You have to actively click on them to read them. And well, since you are muting, you don't see them, but if your readers want to read them, they have to actively go after it. And that user case is because one of the people who are really offended by those things, saying like a lot of people are reading us and they are not users of Golos, and we have those trolls who leave their shit under our comments, stuff like that.
There isn't an easy answer for that one, because the moment you do that, you're now giving the power for a content creator to basically moderate the comment section of his own post. And he can, if someone is doing something that's fraudulent, he can carefully craft the comment section to make sure that no one is going against him. And that includes people calling him out for whatever bad thing that he's doing.
Well, you could add this if people upvote their comments. It's still, it's probably not the best solution there is, but it's.
I don't think there is a good solution, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably not. But well, the thing is, as far as I understand, the best solution would be the social one, when people find some sort of understanding, common ground, and they kind of. The thing is, it's a problem of scale. We are still tiny, and a lot of people are feeling that everyone knows everyone, and there are personal conflicts, and they are probably getting blown out of proportion, and this is all amplified by the curation system and the whole thing, because for a lot of people it's about money. And remember I mentioned user Piranha, and her stance on this whole thing is like, those people came here and they earned their reputation, stuff like that, but they are afraid that the newcomers will steal their thunder, that their rewards will decrease with people, so they are attacking them, the newcomers, because of that. It's weird, but well. And the old-timers, they feel that, well, it's kind of, do you remember this thing called Eternal Autumn, when the people on the internet, when it was mostly on campuses, there happened this influx of new users from American Alliance.
Yeah, Eternal September, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of a situation of like, we are a respected people with good culture and stuff like that, and we are working really hard on making Golos best that it could be, really elitist, and there's uncultured rebel are coming in and ruining it for us, stuff like that.
The interesting thing is, though, in the internet, people come in at a level playing field. However, on this platform, a newcomer does not have the same playing field as someone who's been here even for a few days and has already posted content, because the power and the influence in the system depends on really how early you come in and how much money you spend, or if you've been here for a while and have been doing things. So a newcomer is not on the same playing field, and that's something interesting to consider, is that it has this hierarchical nature where a new person who comes in has to appeal to the old group if they want to get votes on their content.
That's true. And I think that one of the things that amplifies this thing is that when people start using bots, they have those authors on their list, and a lot of there's another thing that, for example, there's a user called Gildar, and a lot of people are feeling that, well, he's just kind of rewriting the content that he's posting, and but he has like 70 reputation, and he like says like, no, I had those ideas like 40 years ago, and I'm starting to write them out and stuff like that. So
Hey,
what?
hey guys, are you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to steal a bit your time from this flag ban war, like, because I think everyone understands what's going on. It's just a social relation and like little community, little by little, spreading, and it's always happening when the let's say you have newcomers and old comers, but in the same time, old comers is just 2 months later than newcomers. So for me, it's not make a lot of sense, you know. So like newcomers and old comers, everyone is new on this ship, and it's like common ship for everyone. As for me, and
That's
like
true.
the success of this ship, it's let's say the common effort, newcomers and newcomers. Yes, but I want to talk about our nearly pop-up initiative that we announced
That's
today
true.
on Golos and on Steemit yesterday. That we, let's say, first of all, we're aiming to become a voluntary ambassador for Graphene Steam technology in the Russian-speaking community. That includes different support of the activities initiative, like developing the projects based on Steam Graphene blockchains, or developing application and services based on Graphene Steam. Also, technical support that includes operation of witness and delegate nodes in different Graphene and Steam-based blockchains that we can, let's say, keeping abreast of the events related to these projects. And finally, we want to start a gateway for the Russian community that integrates Steam, SBD, GBG, Golos to the BitShares DEX platform, and allows to the users using Rebels to go in and out. That is like our closest plan. Now we're working on the web interface for the Russian community, and maybe in the further weeks we announce it. Yes, and today we just announced the starting of our nodes like Steam witness node and Golos delegate node. So feel free to support us
by voting for our witness. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I kind of announced a bit the whole thing about BitShares interface yesterday, and in that it's not yet ready, but we are looking for beta testers. So if you would like to test our web interface, you could ask us on the BitShares DEX root channel in Telegram. And yeah, do vote up for the blockchain witness on Steemit and Golos. It's going to do a lot of cool things, and it did a bit of cool things already. Let's talk about the hard fork. A lot of people are saying like, yeah, this hard fork happened, and the exchanges are down and they are updating when it's going to be and stuff like that. I know that Steem came through like 3-4 hard forks in the last few months. How long did it usually take for the exchanges to update and start trying that for the hard fork?
I think at that time, all the exchanges were pre-notified of the hard fork, and they were back up within a few days. So I guess, unfortunately, Golos is not as they didn't have the same launch burst that Steem did when Steem took off to like 3rd place in the crypto world for a time. So exchanges were more than happy to, keep everything up to date because there was tons of liquidity. So for Golos, the liquidity is a bit lower, and you'll probably have to reach out to exchanges and send them a reminder and saying, hey, you can't do this anymore, but we still want to trade.
Sirojus is talking with exchanges. I remember him saying that, yeah, we're talking with them, and things are going to in a couple of days, but it's just so it's a expectations thing, so, and volume thing. Cool. That's about Annex proposal or request to reduce the interest rate. Oh, it's an interesting thing. Thank you for asking, Arkanj. And no, we didn't talk about it yet. People are. I know that there are several posts on that already. And there's one by Denise, and he's saying like, yeah, we. It's not as interesting asset as it is without the interest rate. But after the discussion, if we look at the witness list, we can see that a lot of top witnesses are reporting the. Okay, so
it's very split. It's like just under half of them are accepting what I proposed, and a little bit more than
like
half are the old
10%, 1%, 1%, 10%, 2%, blah blah blah. So the top 19 delegates are almost evenly split on. So there's like 10. Oh no. There's 10 who are running 10%, and there are some who are running at 1-2%. I think. Well, my personal position is that it's going to be a good thing to do maybe in a month or so, because for a lot of people, that's like a really interesting thing in GPGs. But we should be really, open and public with those changes that thing. Well, or they should probably do, their own due diligence. I think that the update to the web interface for Golos.io wallet already. No, it doesn't yet. I remember that on Steemit there's this thing that lists the APR, current APR, that the system uses, but Golos doesn't have it yet. So that would be really cool if they added something. So there's another interesting news bit is that there's another exchange that lists Golos, and those guys, they are, you all probably know William Banks from Steemit, right?
He's been around for a while, so yeah.
So they have this exchange called Quick, I think, based out of Mexico, and they are really interested in GBG as a store of value, which is a little weird, but it's also a good thing for Golos and GBG. And one of the things that they are, I think there's a post there that is that they are willing to trade it into a physical gold. I'll post it.
That's pretty cool.
Here's the link. And some of the comments that explain things are in English, but I have them translated. So if you have GBG, you could probably get some gold if you're interested. Well, what else should we talk about? Did any of you have had problems with the HardFork and stuff like that?
So far, it's been a pretty smooth upgrade. We had, I guess a lot of the witnesses had experience from doing it on Steam before, and they know the IO-intensive resources that version 16 comes with the chain base.
Mm-hmm.
So having that made it a little bit easier for people compared to when Steam just launched into it and everyone started missing blocks all the time, which was unfortunate. Now it seems pretty stable.
Oh yeah, I missed my first 2 blocks on the upgrade, but that's.
Oh, don't worry, you're gonna miss more just because chain base is strange.
Well, those 2 are my own fault because I should have stopped the node correctly, and I didn't have the understanding of how to do it, and I first stopped the node, and then it started syncing the blockchain after the upgrade, and the time till my next slot happened twice, so I missed 2 blocks, and I couldn't broadcast the stop thing because but well, I'm running pretty smoothly. There are no missed blocks since, so everything's okay for me for now. But I'm sure that if I were in top 10, I would see more missed blocks. Maybe not. Well, it's a little bad that we don't have so much people here today. And well, I kind of ran out of things to discuss, so we are going to be a little early with the finishing touches. If you don't have anything you would like to discuss, maybe some asks about something. No?
Gotta go yell at the other English witnesses to come join us.
It's okay. Next week we are going to be on Wednesday, and that's a little unfortunate that we won't have you. But Friday after that, I hope to see you again.
Hope so too.
Okay, so now that we are out of things to talk about, I'm going to bid everyone good evening or whatever time of the day is in your corner of the world, and especially since you're watching it in the recording, so whatever time it is there. Okay, and see you next Wednesday. Thank you. It was Nature's Golos, and we had Anix today. We had Arkanj, but he unfortunately didn't have like so. And we have the blockchain, Dima from the blockchain, who announced their cool thing, our cool thing. See you. Bye bye.